cow, please clown, they won't laugh now. Step up to us regulators, I spit it how I live it, so these lyrics be so vivid. You can feel it in your spirit, middle finger to the critics. This is strictly business, so you toying with my digits. So make doctors come and visit till they running out of shit.
You already know what it is. You probably ain't seen us in this form of fashion in a minute. Because, you know, we started off with the Chance D-Rook show. You know what I mean? Rook ain't been available lately. He been working too hard. You know what I mean? Then the shit kind of evolved into other things, Geeked Out, where Rook and Kenny's a part of. Then it kind of evolved to some wrestling shit because that's what y'all wanted on here. Now we're going to try to give y'all a little more something of what y'all might want. And if you don't want it, we're going to make you want it. You know what I mean? It's going to be some fantasy football shit. We don't know what the name is yet. Could be Boom Bust. We don't know. Boom or Bust, whatever. You know what I mean? But we got Kenny here as always. Got Rook here as always. I'm here as always. We're going to tell you who you should be picking up from our opinion. Because if you fuck up on your fantasy, don't be hitting me up in the comments saying y'all niggas don't know shit. This is our opinion of who we think should be picked up on the waivers, who had the boom, who had the bust, and wherever we go. As you see, I'm a Carolina fan. When you do too good, say I'm looking like Sam. Rook liking the Jets, even though he's a Cowboy fan. You know what I mean? Kenny don't want to show he a Miami fan, but we here. So, without further delay, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that goodish. Join the Discord, join the podcast, join the stuff. We'll talk about more shit sooner as we come. Get the merch, all that bullshit. Kenny, Rook, I'll let y'all do it because I'm just going to try to be on my Jenny from Undisputed shit.
Okay, this guy. I'm going to start us off who I already picked up this morning off the waiver wire, Nyheim Hines. So I ain't telling y'all to do something I wouldn't do. I've already done it. Did it this morning. Nyheim Hines, it depends on you play a PPR league or not. That makes a big difference with all my picks. Even when we're not playing a PPR league, I always do PPR picks because it's just a habit.
Let's dumb it down because sometimes I'll be watching shit. Maybe people don't know what kind of league a PPR league is. So explain to them what that is.
Points per reception or sometimes points per rush. Most people don't do points per rush because it makes running backs way too strong. Some people do 0.25 per rush. It depends on what you're doing. So Nyheim Hines, like Alvin Kamara in a PPR league, is a monster. He gets touches like crazy. Nyheim Hines is similar. He gets the ball in the air, he gets the ball on the ground, and they play in the Texans, whose defense is just I didn't think JJ Watt would make such a they missing JJ Watt like they missing everybody. Texans playing terrible. So Nyheim Hines, good talent. He's getting the ball in the air and on the ground, playing the Texans. That's just a combo. He's only 72% owned in most leagues. That means almost 30% of people ain't got him. He might not be picked up in your league. Go see. Might be worth a trade. Depends because, I mean, he hasn't had his bye week yet, but he got the rest of the season ahead of him. I don't think he's slowing down.
So you're picking him up off the waiver because do you feel like he's a keeper for the rest of the season, or is it strictly just this week?
I mean, I lost Saquon. So, I mean, I don't know when Saquon going to be back. That 0.9 points he just gave me was painful. 0.9. It hurt. I got him in multiple leagues too. My first pick in 2 leagues. So it extra hurt. So Nyheim Hines, I hope he could fill that gap for me. So, but yeah, definitely for the rest of the league. I had roster space.
I don't like the stress you putting on Nyheim with the Saquon thing. You know, that's
not fair. Doing too good though. He's only had one good game. So he only had one good game. It's not that big of a hole to fill.
Nyheim is really good, yo, but that's a lot to ask. So since you went with Nyheim Hines, I'm gonna go with his teammate. All right. I've been waiting and just quietly watching, seeing how he responds, how his injury history, shapes out. Dude got injured in training camp. And if you don't know what I'm talking about Colts quarterback Carson Wentz. All right. Only 14% rostered in all leagues. And if you're in a league that needs a backup quarterback, which odds are you do, or you're in the league and you punted on quarterbacks and now your quarterback starter is a revolving door, Carson might be able to stabilize that. If healthy, we all know this. But Monday Night Football just had himself a great night, lost by field goal. It was a bad weekend for field goal kickers. I don't think we need to go into that. All right, I'm even a part of that because I had Rodrigo Blankenship on one of my fantasy teams. But he threw for 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, looked mobile, looked strong, looked himself, looked like the guy that we all saw with Frank Reich in Philadelphia. The weapons are there. Like Kenny said, Nyheim Hines. Paris Campbell's out there, finally, looking fresh again, looking like himself. Michael Pittman Jr. is my boy. I always thought he was going to be better than his daddy. He's looking like he's going to be better than his daddy. All right, Zach Pascal showed out a little bit against a really tough Ravens defense, and Marlon Humphrey is no joke at the cornerback position. So odds are this is the start. This is the beginning of something for the Colts. And if you need a quarterback, I'm going with Carson Wentz off that waiver wire.
All right, so let's flip it. So, Kenny, let me get a QB that you would pick up off waiver if you had to. Obviously with the Daniel Jones shit. And then Rook coming back too. Let's see a running back you might pick up on the waiver if you have to. But go ahead, Kenny.
Well, we got depends on who you team. I don't think anyone really had Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had 54%. So I don't know if he was a starter. He probably shouldn't have been. But Matt Ryan's on a bye. Saints are on a bye. You got Giants quarterback injured. So it depends what you're picking up for. You're picking up because your quarterback's on a bye, then it might be a decent week to pick up Ryan Tannehill. Now, if you pick it up because you need somebody for the rest of the season, that's a different. Or in the case of the Giants, it's probably just a week or two because it's looking like concussion, but they haven't confirmed yet. So it depends on what you need the quarterback for. I'm not going to tell you because, again, if you punch out a quarterback and now you're looking for one, you might be in trouble for the rest of the season. You might be because they ain't got a lot left. So Tannehill is 80% owned. So there's 20% of people who don't got him. A lot of people probably got him as their backup. They're playing the Bills this week. The Bills defense is not terrible, but again, they're not going to be too worried about Ryan Tannehill. They're going to be trying to stop Derrick Henry. So that RPO, it might be there. Still got, they got their receivers back. Let's see. I'm not telling you again, this depends on what you need. If it's for the rest of the season, I'm sorry, you should have picked the quarterback. Unless, I don't think anyone picked the Giants quarterback because they started quarterback, but again, it depends on why you need a quarterback. If it's just because Matt Ryan's your quarterback and this is bye week, or if you had Jameis Winston, which again wouldn't have done, but if his bye week, all right, and go with Ryan Tannehill for 2 weeks. He might have another week where he plays a weaker team, and you're like, okay, give him another shot. But it depends on your needs.
Kenny and I are going to agree way too much on this show. I can tell already. Yeah, man, that Jameis comment, I'm on board. I'm on board. I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't have. So to go with a running back, I'd have to say Sonny Michelle. All right, injuries have plagued him throughout his career. That's what happened in New England. When healthy, he was bomb, and when not, your best ability is availability. He's with the Rams. Injuries hitting the Rams in the running back position already. We know he's behind Darrell Henderson, but there's touches there to be had. He already stole a red zone touch from him last week, got into the end zone, and he's going up against the Giants, y'all. And man, I'm a Cowboys fan, and if you don't know what happened, it looked like they couldn't stop a nosebleed. Ran all over them, up and down, around, whatever. We took them on a tour of Texas, and it's a big-ass state. Sonny Michelle would be the pickup, and I'd have to say he's probably plus 1 touchdown this weekend. Absolutely plus 1 touchdown.
All right.
The running back market, by the way, is very, very quiet at this point in time. So if you're looking for a running back, Hail Marys.
Yeah, you can't all be like me and pick up Austin Eckler. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and I talk about this throwaway trade that you got, bro. I'm happy for you, but at the same time, in no other league is making this trade.
Yeah, fact.
I show Michael the trade. Michael said, "Hey, that's not a bad trade."
He vetoed it.
Word.
Jody didn't have a tight end. Kyle Pitts delivered this week, like I said, and Pollard did get touches, as Rook said, because the Giants couldn't stop shit. Obviously, both together or an Eckler, but we're going with the needs of that person. They didn't have a tight end, and they didn't really have a good running back after that. So, I gave them what they needed.
That person had a bomb team and they panicked in week 5.
They still won.
Yeah, someone was asking me for Saquon. I kind of wish I would have said yeah, because
Yeah, I don't know what she was thinking. Like even off the strength.
I'm not trading my first pick in week. It was week 3 at that time. I'm not doing that. That was just, and then he had a good week 4. It's just that he had a bad week 5.
Based on the landscape of the Giants, Saquon, as much as I love him, and I mean like since Penn State, since his recruitment, I couldn't pick him just because of the unstable situation that the Giants are. He couldn't be my first pick.
Yeah, that's why like with Saquon, even though he'll probably get you, well, if he was playing, he would probably get you the numbers. Like I know a little something some people, so I'll talk a little bit. But even though he probably gets you numbers on fantasy, he would probably be one of those people that I see in other shows say you might want to trade high on him, like get value out of him. Because the Giants situation, and obviously proven now, fucking no receivers whatsoever. Daniel Jones out for maybe a week or two. Like it's just a hard situation to watch. Like I wouldn't want to be worried about watching the Giants football unless you're a Giants fan.
What a transition, Chance. What a transition.
I mean,
yo, you know who's owned in 18% of leagues?
Please tell me.
Who's caught 30? The dude's caught 10 of 13 targets, and that was all in one game. Kadarius Toney, who I watched play in Florida. And if you're a Florida person, you like college football the way I like college football, you saw this dude play, and then the Giants drafted him, and I shook my head because I saw their offseason, and I was like, ain't he gonna be like the 5th receiver on the team, but he's a first-round pick? And what do you know? He's the 5th receiver on the team, but he's a first-round pick who's the most explosive receiver on the team. And he has silly Jason Garrett with the clipboard and the clapping as his offensive coordinator. And I should know exactly what that's like to have talent and have Garrett. That doesn't go well together. And just by sheer chance, everybody in that receiver room that is worth a damn is injured. And they have to give Kadarius Toney the ball instead of thinking about whether or not to give him the ball. And he shows out like I know he will. All right, you just know sometimes 18% of leagues, and that's looking to jump up immediately because tomorrow waivers get placed. Yeah. They are official. So if you haven't put the claim in, hurry up and put it in now, especially if you're ahead of everybody else in your league on the waiver list. Jump in there and get him now. He's going to get fed a lot. All right, we don't know the situation with Kenny Galladay's knee. Yeah. Sterling Shepard is my boy. Shout out to Oklahoma, but he's always hurt.
Questionable now.
Right? Don't know the situation with Darius Slayton. And John Ross is also my boy, but he's also always hurt. He might be the fastest man on the field. The fastest man on the field ain't worth a damn if he's not in uniform.
Yeah.
And in our league, he is available on the waiver wire list.
Hey, let me see something.
That won't be for long.
Depending on who picks that up. So you're basically saying he's going to be he's a waiver wire pickup for your wide receiver. Is that who you're going with?
Rook? That's one of the people I'm going with.
All right, Kenny, give me one before Rook comes back.
All right, so I got another one. Not really owned a lot. Not as low as 18. Jesus, but Austin Hooper for the Cleveland Browns. Now, if y'all know the Browns, and Njoku just had a good game. Never has good games back to back. I'll watch this man since and if you know Baker love him some tight ends. He seemed to be sick of OBJ shit, if you ask me. And Jarvis is injured, so
which is why I actually picked up on I don't know how to say his name, but who you just said is why. Yeah,
Njoku.
He's from Jersey.
That's who I picked up.
From Jersey, played for UM. I've been watching him a while. He's nice.
That was my number one. That was my number one tight end, and then I dropped.
Not consistent, at all.
But go ahead.
Since he had a good game last week, just everything that I know about what I've seen him do means he's not gonna have a good game this week. Which means Baker gonna still need his tight end because again, OBJ and him just don't have that connection. Jarvis is injured, so in comes Austin Hooper, owned by 38% in leagues. So that's pretty good. I don't think a lot of people will be looking at him. So far, he's only got a touchdown this season. So it's like, oh, forget it. But he got 97 yards. So that's decent value for a person who's not a starting tight end. And again, if you're looking at who they're playing Arizona. So that's going to be a dogfight. Cleveland probably feel like they should have won last week. They're going to come out guns blazing yet again. And the Cardinals, I believe, are the only undefeated team left. So that's going to be a dogfight. So Austin Hooper going to step up big, if you ask me.
I feel like I have to piggyback what you said. All right. So if you know Cleveland, they love running the football. They have 2 number 1 running backs on their team. And that's the reason why tight ends are such a premium on their roster. That's also the reason why you can't depend on one tight end on that team, because any one of the tight ends could be the guy open running downfield. And Njoku's role has shifted with the receiver injuries. So he's playing a lot more split out tight end, more wide receiver flex position. So he's out there a lot with Hooper. They do have another tight end by the name of Bryant. He's really good. He's young, flexible, gets downfield really well in that offensive scheme. So it's going to be a lot of play action. So you never really know. I did have Austin Hooper for a little while. So I did see a lot of the inconsistency. Boomer bust with them. But somebody's getting that ball. And the biggest problem with Odell that they're having is Jarvis works the middle of the field. And that's where Baker likes to go based off the offensive scheme. And Odell's not really working the middle of the field. He's working the X and usually outside the numbers. Baker doesn't throw outside the numbers as often as most other quarterbacks.
I mean, this is a hot take because it's supposed to be about fantasy. I think they should let go of OBJ. I think he should get out of there.
Well, when he was on the Giants, everyone said the same thing. He ran 3 routes.
I just don't think it's gonna work there.
The in, the slant, and the go. Well, Baker not throwing the go the way OBJ likes to go thrown, and OBJ is dropping inside passes and that's Jarvis' area. So again, why would you take away when Jarvis come back? Not sure when he's coming back. I haven't looked at that.
I just think it doesn't work. Like I just don't think it works. Like I think
the connection doesn't seem to be there. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I think he went for the friendship, obviously, because of Jarvis. I think he also went because of that. Yeah, I think he also went because of the situation. But
he want to be on the Giants anymore.
Not traded.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I have a choice.
I'm co-signing, but I'm saying like he didn't have a shit face and was like, "Get me out of here! I'm not going to play in Cleveland." Like he tried it out because his friend was there, so he tried to see if it could work. Technically, it could be really good if they had chemistry, because like you said, with the running backs, with the tight ends, with Jarvis, like it really could be some fire shit. But he just looks like he just does not belong there. Like I would like to see him somewhere else. Like he's a big market dude. Like I would like to see him somewhere else, like somewhere that needs a wide receiver. I mean, obviously he can never go back to the Giants, but that would be fly because they definitely need him.
They looking like they might need him.
He can go to the Jets. All right, the future needs you. The future needs you.
Zach Wilson needs all the help he can get. Because
for real,
but the picks.
I'm not gonna lie, that'd be fly because I mean I know he loves the New York market, and the New York market is amazing for football players. So I don't know, but that wasn't a hot take I was going for. But I mean that was a hot take I was going for, even though it has nothing to do with fantasy. But tight end, who would you pick up? I happen to pick up my man Knox. You know what I mean? And Knox has been doing wonders for me, as Rook knows, but Knox has been doing amazing for me. So Knox is definitely a boom player, even though we're not on the boom list yet. But Kenny just said Hooper, you pick him up off the waiver list. Rook, is there a tight end out there on the waiver list that you see right now that you'd be like, I guess maybe I could fuck with him because tight ends is really shady this year.
It's pretty much just like that. The last couple of years, especially with the change in the league, man, that landscape is so crazy right now with how quarterbacks are spreading out and distributing the ball.
Yep.
Which kind of leaks back into Odell's situation. If you look at most teams outside of Arizona and a few others don't have a number one guy that they're force feeding the ball. They have a number one guy. No one's getting force fed.
Right.
It's your open, you're getting hit. No one's, DeAndre will get like 20 targets in a game. Nobody else is going to get that. Michael Thomas's time with the Saints might seriously be up. They really had a fallout, and Drew Brees ain't there. He's another guy that would have got force fed. No one's getting force fed. That's really what that's coming down to. And if you have explosive players like an Odell Beckham, that means 5 touches, 2 touches. I've seen what he done to the Cowboys off a slant. He's murdered us off of slant. That's pretty much all you need. For for anybody who wants to know what an explosive touch looks like, Cowboys fan. Ask James Bradbury, who's played for them Panthers, where's 88? If we give somebody 88, they're worth 88. Smoke show. And he didn't get a lot of targets that night. But you know what? You make them count. And that's what explosive players do. I'm not going to go with a tight end here. But the Lions, Omar St Brown, went to USC. He's a Trojan. Eyes on him from the time he got drafted, looking at this team, looking at the landscape, looking at the fact that Jared Goff may not win you a Super Bowl, but he's very capable at quarterback. I do like the offensive system and scheme, and he's going to spread the ball around. Amon St. Brown is your clinical, traditional wide receiver. He's going to run his routes crisp. He's going to be where the quarterback needs him to be. In the last 2 weeks, he has 13 out of 16 targets caught, and he's only owned in 3% of leagues. They're going to keep feeding this guy, and the slot is a machine. It's a place since, 10 years ago, where players go to thrive. All right, even your number one receiver, like a Michael Thomas, who my man DeAndre Hopkins pointed out, spent more time in the slot than most number one receivers in the NFL. It's somewhere where you go to thrive. It's harder to cover you coming out of the slot. Amon St. Brown might be a receiver pickup for now and for the foreseeable future.
He used to be, he played in the slot. I mean, you were working your way to get a number one spot. Now it's people just want to play in the slot. But I want to talk about somebody who, I ain't gonna lie, they've been catching a lot of heat, so I don't really want to pile on their plate. But I just noticed that they own 24% of leagues, and I don't understand how, even as a backup. Who still has Big Ben on their team? Who in what leagues? Where is it? Why? Big Ben
questioning me when I said I'm cutting him. He was like, "Yo, are you seriously?" Yes. Have you seen that offense?
He Seahawks this week. So if he on your team and you can't, definitely don't play him. I don't know who your backup is. I know there's a lot of people on the bye weeks are starting, and people starting to because that's another thing about fantasy. A lot of people, they don't change their teams at all. They plan, because I know when I plan my team, I do plan, make sure my quarterback's on the same bye week, all types of stuff. I look at schedule and stuff like that. But some people, they don't want no tinkering. So if you have Big Ben, you thought, okay, Big Ben gonna play when my other quarterback on the bye week. Hope that bye week not this week, because they're playing the Seahawks. And the Seahawks may not be the Legion of Boom anymore, but don't do this. Don't do this.
So I'm gonna go with that. So I'm gonna go with that. Big Ben is the first bust.
Yeah, definitely. If he 24% ain't high, but it's higher than he should be, because you got like Philip Lindsay's 19%. Like what? There's people on IR who are higher than Big Ben, which is a shame.
And Ben has no more mobility left, so his fantasy value is terrible. Because fantasy value is way better when your quarterback's mobile. All right, he's got a lot more potential. No more mobility left, no explosiveness to that offense whatsoever. And Juju's out for the rest of the season. Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Will, give me another bust.
I can't say I have a guaranteed bust here. Boomer bust, Paris Campbell, Indianapolis Colts. They coming out of training camp, they had high hopes for what he could be. Fastest guy on the roster at receiver, and they feel like he can be that explosive guy for them again, especially in the absence of T.Y. Hilton. They need somebody fast, somebody explosive. He's going to work the slot. We just talked about how useful the slot is. He had a good game the other night. Decent game anyway. He's going to see more targets. If he's going to average 6 targets a game, 5 targets a game, that's more than enough opportunities for him to make a boom play.
I said, give me a bust. You give me a boom.
Oh, no, that was boom or bust.
Yeah.
No guarantee. Ben is just a guaranteed bust, because I can't tell you the last time he gave you a legitimate 20 points.
I got a boomer bust.
So quick hot take. Is it time for T.Y. to be out?
Of the Colts?
Yeah, like just retire.
But,
the last 3 seasons I've known him to be hurt, because I've had him on my fantasy team a couple times, and he's always hurt.
Yeah, he got a lot of injury problems. I just think it's time for him not to be a number one receiver anymore. That's what it is. I mean, again, you've seen a lot of guys regenerate as number 2 receivers. They don't want to hear their number 2 receiver. And a lot of teams don't even, like what we're saying, like teams don't have, they're not force feeding people the ball no more. So it's not even 1 and 2. It's having a lot of dangerous weapons. Look what Sami Watkins did after he was no longer number one receiver. That man was tearing it up with the Chiefs. He was not their first look at all.
So before you get
not a traditional number one receiver, and him and Kelsey on the same team make each other look really good. So I mean, it might be time for him to change teams and go somewhere who's already got a better or more steady hand. But retire, I wouldn't say so.
All right. So before you give me your boom or bust, let me ask someone that owns this guy who didn't help him that much this week against me. Rook, what is Stephon Diggs considered right now? Because he's definitely not getting those fantasy points.
Well, we just talked about guys not being force-fed the ball. Stephon Diggs last year, split ownership in target share last year. Him and DeAndre Hopkins led the league in targets. And it's not looking like that this season. All right. Josh Allen has continued to evolve.
I don't know. So would you advise your people to trade him high or hang on to him?
It depends on your situation. So if your situation is that you have great needs, and of course he has great value and he can help you with that, then by all means, especially if you have depth at receiver. If you don't have depth at receiver, you hang on to him because he's still going to get a lot more targets than the average receiver. He's just not getting 14, 15 targets a game like he did last season.
Okay. All right, Kenny, give me your boom or bust.
And this is not about ability. This is on opposition. I'm talking about Hunter Renfrow. He playing Denver. Thing about the Broncos is their defense. Sometimes it could look just like no fly zone is back, and sometimes it's atrocious. I remember watching Hunter Renfrow at Clemson, and I was so afraid that he was going to the Patriots as a Dolphins fan because he looked like a quintessential Patriots receiver, smart as hell, between the numbers, tearing you up. I was like, please don't let this happen. Please don't let this happen. Now there is another problem for Hunter Renfrow. John Gruden might be out of a job. It sounds like he resigned, and still rumors going about. Not sure. And I don't know who's coming in. So we don't know what that's going to do to the team. But Hunter Renfrow gets touches. He's scored 2 touchdowns so far. He should be looking at an 8-9 touchdown season. So he's only owning 45% of leagues. So if you got the space, you don't got that depth, pick him up. Make the decision you have to pick a receiver harder for yourself. Look at your like 1 week they play the Giants. I mean, maybe that'd be the week you want to start them. Like value buy, value pickup, 45% on. I mean, 55% of people don't got them. Look in your league if you're available. Available in ours, I'll tell you that much. So
I said that I'm gonna agree with Kenny a lot. One, yes, and I hated Clemson, but I'm a Hurricane fan. I'm always gonna hate Clemson.
I hate Clemson. I'm a Gamecock fan.
See, thank you. We hate Clemson, but Hunter Renfrow, even with Gruden resigning, him and Derek Carr have a great relationship, and the only person that's going to see more targets than Hunter Renfrow in a game is Darren Waller. And last weekend in that terrible game that they played, him and Darren Waller split targets. So yeah, you want volume. You need the volume, and that guy knows how to get open. And if that one security blanket ain't there, he's the next blanket.
Amendola all over again.
Wes Welker types.
Yeah.
My man Wes Welker went to Texas Tech.
Oh, I love Texas Tech receivers. They are some, except Jakeem Grant. Thank God we traded him away. Man can't catch. Punts or catches. It's annoying.
Can I give me somebody
that's a weird situation.
Can I give me somebody who was a boom?
Who was a boom or can still?
Somebody's a guaranteed boom, bro.
I think
don't get us in trouble.
I'm not guaranteeing no more. I gave who I gave. Everything else I give you is value buys. Look who they playing week by week. This week,
in your opinion, this week, who should somebody definitely start?
Definitely start.
In your opinion.
Anyone playing the Texans, that's a value start. Texans defense is terrible.
That is
if actually, it might be the time to get the Colts defense if you don't got them, because they playing it. If you're in a league where fumbles, picks, and all that stuff is going to give you extra points, because some leagues is just how much you allow the other team to score. which again, even then, that's like automatic 10 points because I don't see the Texans scoring on the Colts. So I think Texans, the Colts defense might be the week to start them if you got them. I'm not sure what their percentage is because I ain't look at it. I ain't look at too many defenses because people don't really pick up defenses as the season go on until their team has a bye, and that's when they do it. But it would be the week because Texans terrible, and Darius Leonard in the middle of the field. I did do one thing this year I've never done before, by the way. Played in a league where we picked up one linebacker and one DB. And I'll tell you now, I hate it. Not because my DB and my linebacker is bad. It's just that I played against somebody whose linebacker gave him 36 points 2 weeks ago. I was like, there's nothing I can do about this. This is running back numbers. What the? But yeah, I got Jalen Ramsey. He gets his pass deflections. I get a couple points off of him. I'm not going to keep looking around the shop to go pick up a DB or a linebacker. I'm sticking because I thought it was interesting. I'm like, okay, sure, we're doing it. But it's a money league. And I'm like, I feel like I've been bamboozled here. But it is what it is. But yeah,
it's a setup.
If you got Darius Leonard in one of those leagues that pick up DBs and linebackers, definitely the week to start him. Because again, that boy get in there. That boy a stud.
All right, so I have somebody who's not seeing a lot of targets this season, and his whole positioning with the Los Angeles Rams is boom or bust. That is literally his career for this season. That's his ceiling. It's boom or bust. But they're going up against the Giants, and I don't trust that secondary. I don't trust the safeties, and Sean McVay has a tendency to sneak in Deshaun Jackson and say, yo, we're calling a shot. And under this current new offense, hey, my boy Matthew Stafford, Texan, he's taking the shot. All right, he's caught Deshaun 3 times for 30 plus yards or more. Thanks. And it should have been more than that, but they missed a few times. All right, there were some underthrows on Matthew Stafford's part, and he's got the arm for it. So that's something I know Deshaun was definitely frustrated about. For a 34-year-old guy, Deshaun's still one of the fastest men on the field. And I definitely see a boom opportunity for him against this Giants secondary, against this Giants defense. I'm sure they're going to really do their thing and set up the run, mixing that play action pass, and definitely take a lot of shots this weekend. So he's my boom or bust for the week. I'm just going to just jump in here. My last person on my list that I was looking at was Tim Patrick of the Denver Broncos. 28 targets, 22 catches, 2 touchdowns. I don't like the 2 touchdowns in 5 weeks, but we're talking about the Broncos here. They got this revolving door situation going on. Yeah. My boy Drew Lock is back there at quarterback. I liked him coming out of school. I don't know what it is with Elway and that situation, but I'm glad he's not running things anymore. Lock and Tim Patrick have good chemistry. And as long as they have injuries at that position, because there's no Jerry Jeudy, there's no KJ Hamlin. Yeah, it's him and Cortland Sutton. There's opportunities there. 31% of the leagues he's owned, but at 28 targets, you're talking about 5 targets a game, 6 targets a game right now. Again, we're talking about volume. You want volume at the receiver position. He's going to get volume, and he produced for real last weekend. He's going to produce again this weekend. He's going to work out of the slot, work outside. Opportunity is there.
All right, so
I got one last boom or bust since Rook gave his last one. And
all right, after you do your boom or bust, then let's wrap it up for these people and let them know, in our opinion, who should start as a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end, flex this week. But go ahead, give us your boom or bust.
Last boom or bust. I might be a cynical Dolphins fan, but I'm still a Dolphins fan. Myles Gaskins is only owned 74% of leagues. He got 34 attempts, 26 targets. So again, if you're in a PPR league, there's some value there. So playing against the Jags, you never know what you're gonna get with them, but it's never gonna be much good. So again, I don't got a lot of faith in the Dolphins because they've done me dirty for years and years and years. But Myles Gaskins versus Jags sound like a lock to me. That's do with that what you will, but get touches.
It's that Urban Meyer flex.
What?
Well, my boom is what I told y'all. My man Knox. Knox is killing it. Josh Allen loves him, and we're gonna keep on getting that chemistry flowing. That's his new best friend. Everybody agree? Everybody quiet?
No, he doing his number. I can't argue with the numbers.
I got to be GM of the year in the league. I'm telling you.
The GM of the year, the person who wins the league, sir. That's how you get GM of the year.
I'm sorry. I started out 0-3. I am now 2-3. I'm just saying.
That's streak.
I knocked out one of the champs this week. That's sitting in the top right corner. Yeah, that was killing it. You know what I mean?
One of the champs?
I mean, you had a nice little record there, buddy. You know what I mean? I gave you that L, but let's move along. So let's go with top. Who you believe, in your opinion, is going to be a must start for QB this week?
Oh well, two quarterbacks.
Suspect.
For me, it's easy. It's Josh Allen because I got Josh Allen and Justin Fields. There's not even an argument. Not even close. Josh Allen versus Titans or Justin Fields versus Green Bay. Not even. Justin Fields getting his ass kicked. He's not a bad talent, but that old line must have a problem with him because they just letting everybody in.
They sucked for the last 3 years, and everybody in the media is like, "Oh, start him. You have the best chance to win if you start him." Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years. All right, and anybody else who started and had any success, they had an offensive line. And last I checked, Damian Woody, Patriots Super Bowl champion, offensive lineman, probably going to be a Hall of Famer. Him, Jeff Saturday, and everyone else said, if you can't block, you can't run offense. How is he supposed to make a team better if they can't block? You can't run offense.
I got something.
Your number one running back is out, and he might be out for a while. I love David Montgomery. So there's another way you can't protect him. This is stupid. He's definitely not a start. And I love Trey Lance, and I'm going to hold on to Trey Lance in one of my leagues, but he might not be a start neither.
Oh, boy,
even with the dual threat ability. But you start Patrick Mahomes, all right? Because Patrick's pissed. He's angry.
He's definitely pissed.
He might make your team need a State Farm commercial. He's going to play the Washington football team, formerly the Redskins. He's going to burn them because I don't know what's going on with that team. They had such a good defense last year, and I really like that defense. And they're a mere shadow of themselves. I see him torching them. I see Travis Kelce reemerging because they have no answer for that. And I see a lot of dancing in the city of Washington this weekend.
All right, so I don't really do this, but I'll put my little 2 cents in as not guarantee people because obviously the guarantee people you're supposed to play. You're supposed to play the Herbert, you're supposed to play Patrick Mahomes, you're supposed to play
Herbert. Oh my God.
I got Herbert too. He's amazing. Thank you. So my 2 that I would just go with on the fly is Trevor Lawrence. Because who they playing this week?
Hey, Dolphins got the longest streak for interceptions in the league. That's all I'm gonna say.
If you have Trevor Lawrence on your fantasy team, just quit the team.
Obviously, that's if you shouldn't have him. Yeah, let me go ahead and say
don't pick him up.
You shouldn't have him. But if you do happen to have him, I think he might do something against the Dolphins. That's my opinion. And what Kenny said earlier, Wentz.
No, that was Rook who said Wentz, but for sure.
Wentz.
Now, again, I don't know if it's got to play DB in high school. I'm always looking at defenses. Again, most people don't change their defense until it's a bye week. But my defense, I got the Rams, and they're playing the Giants. So I expect some points from them. If you got them, start them. I expect them to do well. They're not going to let over 400 yards happen, which is you
might win the game with the Rams defense, depending on
that might be the strength of the season by itself. That will give me the strength of the week for itself. So again, it's in New York, but I don't think that makes too much of a difference. Yesterday, a West Coast team going to the East, but that doesn't make as much difference as it used to with the way commercial flights are and all that. And it's the Rams, top 5 defense against a bottom 5 offense. So with more injuries than they've had for like every week is more injuries. So
who'd you go to wide receiver?
Go to?
Like you got to start him. You got to start him this week.
Got to start him this week. On my team, I don't got one. To be honest, personally, on my team, it's somebody gonna get the shit end of the stick. But AJ Brown just coming back again. They play in Buffalo. Ryan Tannehill gonna have to have a good game, and AJ Brown is gonna be his outlet because they're gonna stack that box. Yes, Derrick Henry don't care about them stacking the box. We all know this. It don't stop him. He gonna get what he got to do. But they need to take some pressure off Derrick Henry by throwing that ball, and AJ Brown is that guy. So there you go.
It sucks when you run for 120 yards and lose the game like they did against the Jets. So I strongly suggest that they find AJ Brown. I strongly suggest that they find Adam Humphries, who they signed in the offseason, work in the slot. If you don't have him, pick him up. Yeah, find your receivers, please.
Facts.
Yeah, I don't really have anyone for the wide receivers because that's not my game. Is you think Hill will go off against Washington, or Washington's going to shut Hill down?
Tyreek? I
Yeah.
just said the Chiefs are going to be dancing in the nation's capital.
So you don't
They
think
don't have an answer.
So you don't think Ron's going to do the same thing everyone else is doing? Been shut down Tyreek, just double teaming him and triple teaming him?
No, because they played a really good cover 2 shell on this weekend against him, and they played really deep in that cover 2. They didn't give him any chance to get behind the safeties. Great job, great scheme. It's a simple scheme, but it was well executed. I feel like the Chiefs are going to work around that. They have Eric Bieniemy, and they have 2 of the best offensive minds in the game to ever be around the game. They're gonna work on what teams are throwing at them the last few weeks and get around that. He's too explosive to be held out 2 weeks in a row. That's legal.
Not to mention that he had a couple drops in there. He had chances, and he got that dog in him. He's not gonna be happy about them drops. They gonna figure it out.
All right, so you heard it. So if you got Hill, start him. Tight end.
Well, you already said it for tight end.
Knox.
Yeah.
Oh, Dallas Goedert is out with COVID. So if you got Zach Ertz, because I know a lot of people like Dallas Goedert, he's on my bench. If you got Zach Ertz, this might be his best week. So because
I think Zach's actually on our waiver wire.
Yeah, because I picked up Dallas Goedert and now he got COVID, so I'm about to drop him.
Dallas's defense against New England. The only reason why I'm even looking that way. So I like Mac Jones, but in each of the last 3 games, he's thrown an interception. Multiple interceptions, 2 weeks ago?
Facts.
Yeah. If he throws it enough, someone's going to get it. That's not on his team. It's not necessarily a fault of his. As rookies are concerned, he's the best rookie quarterback this season. He's definitely playing the way I thought that he would play. But it's still going to be a part of those growing pains. That offense has still got a lot of work to do. And Nelson Aguilar is your best wide receiver, so that's not saying much.
Not a good look.
Don't you wish you was back at Bama?
But the evolution of the Alabama quarterback, because I remember every time a quarterback came out of Alabama, that meant shit on him. Coker, these last 3, well, again, 2 are injured, but he'll be back. He better be. Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, doing their dollar. So Alabama quarterbacks actually churn. So now they ain't nothing they'll churn out now. Shit.
All right, so who to wrap it up, who would be your flex?
I always put a running back in the flex, but again, I'll come out on a bye this week. So I'm going with Pittman Jr.
Rook?
Pittman Jr.?
Yeah.
Michael Pittman Jr.?
Yes, sir.
Oh, he's going with the wide receiver in the flex.
I usually don't, but Saquon out, Kamara on the bye, needs must. I already picked up Nyheim Hines, so.
DeAndre Swift, man. All right. The dude's going to be an all-purpose back as long as he's healthy for the Lions. Dan Campbell really likes him. Up. I could have named Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but I felt like you needed somebody that you wouldn't just naturally come to think about. And I'm going with DeAndre Swift.
I'm going to go with Emmanuel Sanders just because he's on my team.
And no matter how many touches he gets, one of them's going in the end zone.
That's right. And Josh Allen seems like him as well, too. So there you have it. This is the first edition of whatever it is. Maybe it's boom or bust. We don't know what it is. Maybe we'll come back with next week with a different name, and maybe every week we'll flip the name. We don't know. But this is the first edition. As it goes on, every other Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll have or whenever whenever I put this up, every other week you'll see either 3 dudes, 4 dudes, 5 dudes, whatever. It's a big party. So if you want to be part of it maybe one day, join the Patreon, show the love, and we'll see what it is. But this is where we go. Look at Face calling right now because he missed the show. I'll answer when we go off here. But this is what it is, so you already know. Hope y'all make the right choices. You know what I'm saying? Hope you win your fantasy league. If you do, just hit us with a subscribe, and we're good money. So, that being said, we out.
So now the bridge is over. I'm watching all these cobras rubbing shoulders, envy, and we getting paper just like